finding decorations in art at thrift stores isn't a way to support art. It's just a fun thing to do.
It's a way to collect
like buying
art.
some horrible like $2 clown painting with like a hole in the front of it. Like that's fun. That's just like a nice thing to do.
I don't even mean like that. I just mean like seeing these random and nameless pieces at yard sales and stuff. I genuinely like doing that, collecting old photos and stuff. But it is really...
that's not the same as paintings. I'm talking about like collecting art and paintings. Photos is a totally different conversation. Secondhand photos.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about both.
Oh.
I don't know. Photography's art too.
Yeah.
I was just saying, if you don't have a venue that is a place to start to see what your aesthetic is, but if you're trying to support the actual artist financially, the best way to go is probably just contacting them directly.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. And then that's for buying works that are done already. For commissions, like, what do you prefer when someone's going to commission you for a piece?
It either has to be open to interpretation, or they have to have literal directions. If somebody is giving me constant edits and wants constant different like tweaks and work and stuff, and they're not paying for that consultation, then I'm going to abandon the project.
Yeah.
And they can fuck themselves. Seriously, like I abandon projects all the time. But if I don't know, man. Like if I think it's just about the amount of money somebody is actually paying as well. You know what I mean? Where I'm not talking about like hundreds of thousands of dollars or something, but I mean like if they have the money to continue paying me to make new work and to change what they have already commissioned, then I will continue making work for them. But if it's just kind of a constant, unending endeavor where they don't know specifically what they want, then I can't do that.
Yeah. And to expand on that a little bit, I think a lot of people don't realize what's wrong with doing that, which is kind of frustrating. But just to start from square one, if you really don't know why that would be irritating or honestly financially not feasible for the artist, what you're doing is taking unpaid labor. Essentially, like that person has a certain amount of time blocked out to work on your piece, but also probably a bunch of other people in their commission queue. Usually when I take on commissions, I take on like 6 at a time, because I have people that have been waiting, and I also have other commitments and other things going on, and also my own work for my own purposes. I usually have like 10 projects in rotation, which maybe I'm oversaturating myself, but if someone signs on for a commission, like I had an experience last year where a friend of mine commissioned me for a piece, and she asked me about it a month in advance and gave me a deadline. So I didn't prioritize her piece because I knew that I had time to do it. And I had other pieces that needed to be done sooner because they were at sooner deadlines. And she was under the understanding that I'd be working on her piece exclusively for a month, and I was being paid $100. And it was a very awkward conversation because she didn't understand at all why that was not feasible at all for me. But that's asking for a month's worth of labor for $100. You know?
Which, at a shitty job, is a day's pay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a low-paying job is $100 a day.
Yeah. And it's like, I will gladly schedule out that time for you. That is amazing. I would love to have a commission where I could dig that deep into it, but you have to pay me for that, because otherwise that's not food going towards my money going towards rent or food. Like, I have other things that I also have to attend to, and I have to schedule them out. So make sure you're completely clear about what you need when you're commissioning an artist, because most of the time, unless they're an asshole, they'll be happy to work with you, or they'll tell you that it doesn't fit their skill set or their schedule. But if you're ambiguous and then you're mad at the end of it because of it, oftentimes that's kind of difficult, because, I mean, I don't know, if you were hiring a contractor or a plumber or something and they told you they could fit you into their schedule on certain days, you wouldn't be mad about that. You would understand that they had a workload. Art is the same thing. It's another trade. So that's the reason. Because if you have a piece and you finished it and you have other things that are in your queue, and that person needs... This isn't to say, like, oh, can you fix this one thing that looks wrong, or, like, this is spelled wrong or something. Those kinds of tweaks, completely reasonable. But if it's maybe 2 more months of back and forth, that's taking time away from that person's studio time. And usually your piece isn't being prioritized as much anymore because you're just kind of creating more work. So just be completely clear about what you need. Communication is key in every situation.
Yeah.
But with that said, most of the time I love commissions. And the ones that I really, really love, and the ones that make me feel very appreciated, are the people that come to me and just ask me to make a piece of work that looks like something I would have just made. Or people that buy pieces that are already finished. I kind of prefer, like, it is more work for me, but I kind of prefer making pieces for people on commission that are in my style. That's, like, my favorite thing to do, because then I can tailor it to them and kind of channel their vibe the way that I perceive it. It's not something that's just kind of stock made, but I also have time to kind of sit with it and add what I think would look nice. It's kind of more creative.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you're contacting an artist for a commission and you wanted something that they don't make, like, why have you chosen this artist?
Yeah.
Like, you might as well have just gone on Fiverr.
True.
Or
yeah.
just, like, taken something from Google Images.
Yeah.
You know?
Which, with that said, side note, Fiverr is a place where you can find artists that are totally willing to do that. There are people that do that work. But if somebody's freelancing and they have a specific niche style, that's probably the style that they want commissions in. Yeah. I don't know. Commissions are fun, though. I've been doing them, and I've had a love-hate relationship with them since I was probably 13 years old. But, yeah, they're a good time, and it's a fun way to make some extra money and maybe experiment with some subject matter that I wouldn't have done on my own.
Right.
Nice to challenge yourself every once in a while.
Yeah. Commissions. Welcome to the Boston Commission Podcast.
Yeah.
Where we talk about art commissions.
Have you noticed your commissions, like the frequency of your commissions or the subject matter or like utilitarian purpose of it changing since COVID?
No, actually not really. I don't know. I feel like I don't get as much commissions since COVID.
Yeah.
I haven't really gotten many, not nearly as many as I got before this.
I used to get a lot of band commissions. Even if they didn't use it, it was like drafts of posters or album covers or t-shirts or something. And now that obviously I haven't got one of those since COVID.
Right.
It's mostly like art scene stuff or gifts. Which...
Yeah.
I'm not a musician, so I guess that's a nice change for me because it's less utilitarian. I kind of can be more creative with it. But I don't know.
Yup. Real fun and cool.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I don't know, man. Ah, Jesus fucking Christ.
What's up?
Nothing. I don't know. I'm just losing steam.
Okay.
I don't know. What else is going on? Fuck this shit. Holy shit. I don't know.
Do you want to pause it really quick?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. We'll be back.
Motherfucker.
All right, we're back.
I fucking hate this podcast.
No, you don't.
If I was a random person, I wouldn't listen to this.
All right, so.
Especially because I hate Boston.
Oh my god. What is your energy right now?
Okay. I'm really negative right now. We stopped recording because I was upset. And
you don't hate Boston.
You
don't hate the podcast.
like Boston. It's fine. The podcast is fine. You know what we should talk about instead of art commissions and fucking art and Boston? We should talk about stress.
Yeah.
Stress management, deadline management, project management.
Yeah. Like, how do you keep your shit together if you are an independent artist, scheduling and booking everything by yourself
During a pandemic.
During a pandemic. Out of your house, probably.
And trying to paint. Well, I don't even know what I was going to say. Paint? What was I going to say? Oh, pay. Pay things. And try to pay your bills.
Try to pay things. Yeah, dude.
Pay people to do things. I just had a fucking gas leak in my house last night. Like, I'm behind on a bunch of shit. Like, I need to fucking grocery shop. My fucking mouth hurts. I feel like shit. And I just blow off my responsibilities all day and just skate and hang out with fucking you. Just kidding, I like that. But yeah, dude, like, I'm kind of a fucking mess. I feel like my life is pretty good. I got my shit together, but like, dude, I'm like fucking up. I feel like shit.
Well.
Like a lot. Like I mentally feel like shit.
I think you gotta focus on self-care.
I know, I try to a lot, but like, I don't know. I think, you know what it is I think like with self-care, eventually, like when I fall into, like, I've thought about this a lot, but I feel like routines expire and turn into monotony.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and then you have to create a new routine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think I haven't yet. I think I'm living in monotony right now by accident.
That makes sense.
So I'm like, can't even record a fucking podcast episode.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, because today, as we said earlier, is Friday. It is our upload day. It is 5 p.m.
And we're way behind.
Yeah. Our plan initially was to record a bunch of podcast episodes and then have a little bank of them to upload, so we'd have them all on Fridays. Oops, that was probably really bad sound
That's
experience.
Who
but
cares? It's all good. Just put it wherever. You can even just hold it, I guess.
Okay, perfect.
Whatever.
But anyways, we made our first episode and then got really excited and just posted it right away.
Mm-hmm.
And then we decided we'd do them every Friday. We figured we'd have plenty of time. But I don't even know why we didn't. I don't know what the reason was.
Wait, this week?
The last 2 weeks, like why we didn't record backlog. We just kind of didn't.
I think because honestly, talking for an hour plus or hour and a half, 2 hours, like I think we just haven't figured out how to increase that how to have that kind of endurance.
Yes.
Because like I don't drink, but if we were drunk and we tried to do it for like 3 hours, we would. Or if we were like on fucking Adderall or something, we would. But we're not doing drugs. We're not editing it. We're just trying to just soberly fucking talk for like 2 hours. And honestly, I think literally, mentally, and physically, that is hard.
That's true.
And I think that we just don't know how to do that yet. And I think we will know how to do that.
It's a new medium.
But if, like I said, like if we were like, I don't know, I don't do drugs or drink. But I think the fact
I'm going to start doing coke so I can make my podcast.
Dude, if we did coke, we would have a 10-hour daily podcast.
No.
Solo. Each. We would each have our own.
It's probably how the Joe Rogan show works.
Probably. They probably do actually do fucking amphetamines or something on there.
All right. Anyways, this is a negative lens.
That's
we're
true.
not doing amphetamines.
No drugs. No amphetamines. But like, I guess so. I don't know, man.
I think something that we've been doing is putting a lot of pressure on ourselves for this. Like something we were talking about, I think it was like 2 days ago, we were trying to figure out what we were going to talk about this week, was that we make art together all the time.
Yeah.
This past year. And
yeah.
We're always talking about art stuff. That's why we started the podcast. These conversations happen naturally and they happen for hours at a time. But we're always also doing something else that's holding our focus. Which is probably usually drawing. And when we do this, we sit down with little mugs of tea or coffee in our fancy chairs and we prep and discuss.
Organize the podcast studio and adjust our expensive microphones.
We
have a sound guy producer over there watching us while we record. It's really
what I mean, though. Like
his name is Tyler.
If we did, it would probably be a lot easier because we'd have other people on our crew helping us out and it wouldn't be so stressful.
That's true. This is an iPhone voice memo.
Yes.
I was lying about this podcast studio just in case anyone thought I was serious.
Yeah, we were going to rent the one at Staples, but it's expensive, so...
$89 an hour or something.
$49. It's actually a pretty sick deal, but not for our budget currently.
But
what I'm trying to say is we are putting pressure on the project that doesn't need to be there. And I think that that's something that I've done in regards to a lot of projects. It's just we're talking about it on the podcast right now because it was pretty evident it was happening today. And it's happening with this project. But the important things to remember about that, it doesn't mean the project sucks. It doesn't mean we don't like making the podcast.
it just means that I'm wicked bitchy sometimes.
And that's fine.
Sorry, everybody at home.
But I think the takeaway... You're fine. I think the takeaway is that structure and time management is critical when you're trying to make your own work. Because you are your own boss. It's the same thing. Like, I mean, I compared it earlier to carpentry or plumbing or something, and people putting in a schedule and a commission schedule and everything. Personal projects have to be on that schedule too, because otherwise, if you have a pile of things and you have some commissions that are paid, some that are unpaid, some that are like things that you're doing on your own projects, and then life things and self-care and daily tasks, what do you think the organization of that is going to be? It's going to be the things that make you the most money at the top and the shit that really matters at the bottom.
Yeah.
Like sleeping and eating and making sure that you have time to live your life and not implode.
Multivitamins.
Yeah.
Buying toothpaste.
And the reality of it is, if you are low income and you're always trying to make enough money and always trying to meet your deadlines, you will just straight up drop those bottom of the rung things out of your schedule. And you can't function if you don't attend to yourself first.
And I just feel so alone sometimes.
Yeah.
I know I have you, and I have, like,